Sit back and enjoy. There is no, what do you call intermissions? It's about 25 minutes and it goes rather quickly, and I think you're going to find it to be fun, enjoyable, and a deeper maybe appreciation of how Olu started. Okay, so thank you for coming. This is our second performance of Founders Week, and so this is all part of homecoming. So we begin the production.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to remind everyone if no flash photography, please. It will distract the actors. So thank you so much and enjoy.
Thank you. So,
I've been looking for you everywhere.
Really? Everywhere? I didn't know I was missing again.
You know what I mean? It's Monday. No, Wednesday. And I thought you would be with Mom.
And being such a predictable human being.
There's nothing predictable about you, Lola.
I have such a smart granddaughter.
Yes, you do.
And so humble, too.
Mom says I take after you.
Really?
It was a compliment.
And what was this compliment for?
This?
Which is? Déjame ver. What did you get into now? Oh. Dear Angelica Sanchez, congratulations. You've been accepted into Our Lady of the Lake University. My Mika's gonna be a saint. I'm so proud of you, Mika. You did it.
Just like
3 generations of Olu women. Father Moye's project lives.
Project?
The project. The reason we're here celebrating your acceptance into the castle. Because of Father Moye and his beliefs, thousands of women, not only in San Antonio, but all over the world, have an education.
How?
Through faith and providence. I forgot. You're my little historian. Facts, facts, and more facts.
Don't blame me. I get it from you, Dr. Valle.
Yes, you do. We'll start at the beginning. See the tape. Now, what do you know about Father Moye?
Okay, well, he was French, and he started the Sisters of Divine Providence.
Uh-huh. Do you know why?
Nope.
He saw inequity in the treatment of young girls and thought they deserved an education. Now, this was in the 1700s, so you can imagine this didn't go over too well, especially considering his methods.
Which were?
Sending young women out into rural communities alone to educate the girls. Now, he had strict guidelines. They were to have a fixed income or a salary, and they were to stay and share in the lives of those they educated.
Well, wasn't it dangerous?
Considerably. But he had faithful followers, like Marguerite Leconte, one of the first sisters he sent out to implement his project. Now, she too believed in doing whatever she could to help alleviate the misery of those she served.
Abuela, I can't imagine taking that kind of a risk.
It's not a risk if you have faith, a deep, abiding faith.
Providence guides and directs everything. The good and the bad, consolations and afflictions. Everything comes from his fatherly hands, and everything must tend to His glory and our sanctification if we accept it as coming from Him and we use it for the purpose He sends to us.
See, even the women Father Moye worked with believed in Providence. Now, he found this true even during his missionary work in China.
Here we have virtuous women and also girls who possess a zeal and a courage above their sex. They fear neither the height of the mountains, nor the distance of the places, nor persecutions, nor death. Like the apostles, they go and preach, counsel, instruct, convert the pagans, edify the Christians, baptize the children, and establish religion everywhere. It is they who do nearly all the good. They have a wonderful talent for speaking soundly, methodically, and clearly. They understand what I say. They comprehend it perfectly and then retain, repeat, and explain all my instructions. They, too, suffer humiliations, but their irreproachable conduct, full of prudence, silences everyone. Even the pagans respect them and listen to them. It is they who convert them.
He spent 10 years as a missionary in China before returning to France to continue his work. Oh, but he found things difficult. Oh, and then there was this huge anti-religious movement that swept through France during the French Revolution, causing many of the religious to flee, including Sister Marguerite and Father Moye, who died in 1793 in exile in Thrace.
But how did the project continue?
Providence. In 1802, a year after Bonaparte's Concordance with the Holy See was signed, the Sisters of Providence resumed their teaching of the rural poor. Now, they received money from the government, and they were able to expand their educational reach.
And that's how they got to Texas?
Not exactly. They came to Texas by special invitation. Now, Bishop Dubois was in dire need of priests and nuns in Texas. At the time, there were only about 24 serving the entire state. So he went to France to solicit volunteers. 3 sisters volunteered, but only 2 actually came. Sister Alphonse Bulger and Sister Andrew Felton. They left France, came to the United States with a special mission to everywhere rural schools for girls.
(1866).
Yes.
That's right after the Civil War. That couldn't have been easy.
No, it wasn't. First, we had to cross the Atlantic, then make the trek from New York to Texas, and then once here, deal with the threat of general lawlessness and the Indian Wars, plus unfinished roads, minimal communication, and the vast expanses of unpopulated and unsettled land.
Kate, why would you put yourself through that?
I felt compelled by God to continue the work of Father Moye.
It's just amazing me, Abuela, how people deliberately pursue dreams and ideas knowing how difficult it's going to be. I wish I could be that strong.
But you are.
No, I'm not.
This letter says differently. Do you know how many young girls want to go to college but can't?
Because they'll be killed.
I'm not talking about in other countries. I'm talking about right here in San Antonio. They don't go because they're afraid. They're afraid they're not smart enough or worthy enough of an education. Now, what you see as easy as a natural course of life, many don't. I didn't. Me, this poor, young, Hispanic girl from the west side of San Antonio? No, an education was that unattainable goal that was only for certain people, which didn't include me. But the CDPs made it possible for me, young Latinas, and Black women to obtain an education. That's what compelled the sisters to come into no man's land, into the wild, unsettled West. They believed everyone deserved an education. And they had faith that they'd be successful. Huh?
They lived their calling.
Yes. Just like you're living yours. Hmm? being a documentary filmmaker, Vina. I am proud of you. I have faith in you. Now, Sister Andrew Felton, she knew things would be difficult, but she had faith that Providence would be the guide. Now, she built the mother house in Castroville in 1868, and she accepted her first novice, Anna Schultz. Ooh, but then in 1886, Bishop Neraz asked for her deposition.
They wanted to remove her? Why?
They accused her of scandal mongering, which she declared herself innocent of, but she was up against some very powerful priests.
What?
You could read about it. It was a story about a priest and a novice in Brownsville. I have the book. You could borrow it if you're interested.
I'm interested.
I thought you would be, Miss Telenovela. Now, suffice to say, Mother Andrew was deposed and Mother Florence Walter took her place. It was a difficult period for Mother Andrew.
It is no use to look for favor from the Bishop of San Antonio, though his lordship has treated me worse than if I'd been a malefactor or a convict. He puts me out wherever I go. Now I shall not and I will not give scandal, and I cannot take my life. In some ways, I shall wait until our good Lord calls me. Dear Father, I will say nothing against the bishop, but you may think that I was called by our Divine Father to erect the first parish school in Texas, but succeeded in erecting 22. Perhaps the devil is jealous, and by means of the present persecution will hinder the good work that could be done in Anaheim.
That couldn't have been easy for her.
It wasn't. Unable to do what she was called to do, she put away her habit and moved in with her brother in San Jose, California, and then helped to raise his 7 children after his wife died.
That's sad.
Yes, but eventually she was able to return to the congregation, but only after the passing of Bishop Neraz.
After all that, she still wanted to come back?
Yes, when you love something, when it's your life, you do not turn your back on it. You're young, but when you're older, you'll understand. Come on.
Well, what happened to her? Was she able to get her job back?
Eventually, she was able to return to the congregation and retake her vows, but only after the passing of the bishop. Now, she went on to many, many new things, and she was able to spend her last 5 years at the mother house in Castroville. And you know what? She was able to see the opening of Our Lady of the Lake, which was opened by Mother Florence in
1896.
Right.
I know that one, because Mom graduated with her degree in 1996.
Right. And do you know what else?
What?
Well, do you know what it was called?
Our Lady of the Lake University?
No. It was Our Lady of the Lake Academy, and it was a private boarding school for girls.
It's the same thing. Wait, a boarding school?
Yes. Now, during Mother Florence's term, there was a huge expansion in the parish, and they accepted 47 schools. There was parish schools, free public schools, and private schools like Olu.
Okay, but how did they get from Castroville to San Antonio?
Mainly out of necessity. The sisters needed railroad transportation. Castroville didn't have it, San Antonio did. And then Providence intervened. Mayor Elmendorf gifted the sisters 16 acres by Lake Elmendorf, where it stands today. The main building was the first, and then it spread out from there.
Well, that's where the fire started.
Yes. 2008. I remember watching it burn and thinking about all the hard work the sisters had put into it. But we rebuilt it, and it's better than ever.
No, it's beautiful.
Still looks like a castle. Mm.
Well, when did it become a university?
University, 1975, a year after I started my graduate degree. Yes, no, that was my bachelor's degree in history.
Wait, it was still an academy?
No, in 1911 it was a 2-year teaching college, and then in 1919 it became a 4-year college. Yes.
So, what happened to Mother Florence?
Mother Florence, during her 6th term, she retired, and Angelique Ayres, Sister Angelique Ayres, was appointed the Superior General and also the Academic Dean of the college. Yes. Now, Sister Angelique, she's considered the dreamer and the builder of Our Lady of the Lake University. Now, after her came Dr. McMahon, and he served for 32 years, and he was the first lay president. And then there was many other presidents after that, of course. In 2013, there was Sister Jane Ann Slater.
Yep.
And who else? Now, she went on to, do you know?
She was the Chancellor of Archdiocese in San Antonio, right?
Right, and the first female in the position. Yes.
Well, what about Mother Angelique?
Angelique, well, as I said before, there was a large expansion during her time here at Our Lady of the Lake University. She started many schools, like the School of Education, and also one of the first social centers in Texas.
Isn't that the Warden School?
Yes, yes, and also one of the first schools for speech and hearing in Texas.
That's the Jurzik Center.
Right. And you know what else?
What?
She was a poet and a professor.
Ooh. An academic and an artist, just like you.
Yes.
Well, what does she write about?
Providence.
This procession of the years began when 2 cross-bearers with radiant upturned faces set forth on the uncharted road. Others, who beheld their hopeful zeal vision the brightness of eternity, joined the slowly moving caravan and formed an ever-lengthening line of inspired crusaders. On one side, here and there, beneath the burden of the cross, fell the weak or timorous of heart. And on the other, the brave, undaunted, having reached their destined end, planted their crosses, glorified, and passed into the eternal presence. But still the procession presses on, each brave cross-bearer singing in her heart, praised and blessed be divine providence, now and forever. Amen.
She also wrote about progress and legacy.
Link by link, the blessed years, wrought from enduring precious ore of sacrificial lives, have grown into a jeweled, gleaming chain. Lives that ran like priceless vein through devious glooms of earth and time, till bursting through the clogging mire, they shine for all eternity. Chain that swings from earth to heaven, binding hearts with love divine, drawing onward, lifting upward, all who follow its bright gleam. Dear God, we bring our meed of thanks for jeweled years and sainted souls, and beg you to transmute our dross into new links and timeless love.
Now, by the time she retired in 1960, she had created her own legacy, and she also created links for future leaders. Now, she did really good work here, and of course her legacy continues to this day.
The CDP sure had a lot of firsts, Abuela.
Yes.
Do you ever think Father Moye ever imagined how his project would go so far?
I don't know, but he did say that. Did say that Providence guides all things, provides for everything, and makes everything good. And if it was God's will, Providence would provide.
Providence of my God, I adore you in all your designs. I place my destiny in your hands, confiding to you all that I have, all that I am, and all that I am to become. My body and my soul, my health and reputation, my life, my death, and my eternal salvation. As I rely entirely upon you and expect all from your goodness, I will not give myself up to any useless anxiety. I confide to you the success of all my undertakings, and in all my difficulties, I will have recourse in you as a never-failing source of help. I know that you will either preserve me from the evils I dread, or turn them to my good and your glory. Peaceful and contented in all, I will allow your providence to govern my life without worry or over-eagerness. Holy, wise, generous and loving Providence, I thank you for the tender care you have taken of me up to this moment. I humbly and earnestly entreat you to continue the same for me. Direct all that I do, guide me in your ways, govern me at every moment of my life, and bring me to the fullness of being you destined for me from all eternity. May I please you and give you glory forever. Amen. Let us leave the future to Providence and take advantage of the present.
Let us do everything that depends on us, and God will take care of what concerns us.
Whatever happens, everything will turn to the glory of God and our benefit.
So, if you didn't have faith in Providence, then there would have never been the project.
Maybe. Maybe not Our Lady of the Lake. And maybe for me, your mom, and now you. Maybe no degrees.
It's all connected,
Yes, it is.
linked, like Mother Angelique wrote.
And now we have more links, like in Houston and the Rio Grande Valley. In the future, who knows where else?
That's Mom. Hi, Mom. Yeah, she's right here. Hold on, I'll ask her. Mom's taking me out to dinner to celebrate. You want to come?
Of course.
She says yes. Okay, I will. Love you too. Bye. She's on her way. She'll be in here in a few minutes.
Okay, I better clean up. Mija, don't forget this.
Yes.
I have something for you. For your dorm room, Mija?
Yes.
I'm so proud of you.
So much of it.
Oh, maybe someday we'll go to alumni weekend together.
That old.
Okay, where do you want to eat? Chuck E. Cheese?
Good time, Charlie's. Sounds better.
Okay, let's go. Vámonos.